Well, it's that time of year again, guys. The NBA playoffs are upon us. And today I want to go over each and every one of my NBA playoff predictions. We're not just doing the first round, we're going to fill it out like a bracket. I'm going to tell you how many games each series is going to take. I'm going to tell you who's going to win the whole damn thing, who's going to win NBA Finals MVP, how I envision the entire thing playing out, and we'll see how wrong I am come in about almost 2 months. So if you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And comment down below the team you want to win the NBA championship. So, first, quick recap of the play-in. The Orlando Magic defeated the Atlanta Hawks to get in the play-in. Hawks ended up losing a second home game to the Miami Heat, who becomes the first 10 seed to get into the NBA playoffs. And they can be a dangerous 8 seed. They went to the NBA Finals a couple years ago. Then over on the West side, it pretty much stood pat with the seeding, except the Mavs upset the Kings to get to the 8-9 play-in game. But other than that, Memphis took care of business against them. The Warriors beat Memphis earlier to get the 7 seed. So the field is set, and we are ready to go. So I want to start with the fact that, the Luka trade obviously had huge ripple effects on the entire league. And now the Mavs are out and the Lakers are high up in seeding. And we're definitely going to go over that. Can Boston repeat? Let's find out. Let's start in the East, shall we? First round, Eastern Conference. We have the Cleveland Cavs taking on the Miami Heat. Now, clearly, Cleveland's been the better team all year. This is technically a 1 seed versus a 10 seed, if you want to be technical. By all rights, Cleveland should win this series. And they will. I think they'll take care of it in 5. But I think each individual game will be a little bit of a struggle. I think Miami's not going to go away easy. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it to a 6th game, but do not let them hang around. They don't have Jimmy Butler anymore, so without him, I'm not as concerned. But Miami is a well-coached team. They're a veteran team. They're a team that have won as underdogs over the years. So, Cleveland better not take them lightly. I'm going to roll with the team that's been better all year. Cleveland in 5. Next up, we have my Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic. I think this is a complete and total mismatch nightmare for Orlando. They are screwed. And I mean, I have the Celtics sweeping the Magic. I don't even think it'll be close. I'm not just talking like I'm a fan for the Celtics. I'm just being honest. They don't have the offensive firepower. They don't have the defensive stopping power to handle the Celtics. They're going to lose games 1 and 2 in big fashion. Probably lose game 3 close in a heartbreaker. And then take the sweep in game 4. That's how it's going to be. Sorry to break it to you, Magic fans. You probably would have been better off losing the first play-in game and avoiding the Celtics and playing the Cavs instead. Just saying. Next up, we have the New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons. I do not feel very comfortable picking this series. Detroit's one of those teams that came on this year on the scene, kind of like the Rockets. No one expected them to be good. They are good. The Knicks aren't really good at beating good teams. I think this goes 7. But I do think ultimately the Knicks take care of business because the Knicks do have the better roster. They have a little more playoff experience. They have the home court advantage. So I will take the Knicks. I do think it's uncomfortable for them, though. I do think it takes 7. And they will have battle scars from this series. Next up, we have, I think this is definitely the closest series in the East. And it will also go 7 games. But I think this time, the Milwaukee Bucks defeat the Pacers. And last year, we know the Bucks lost to the Pacers. And, but this year, the Bucks will get revenge. I think Giannis is just going to go off. 7 games. I'm not comfortable picking this at all. But I'll go 7 here. Bucks advance. I respect Giannis too much to see him get knocked out in the first round again. Call me crazy. That's what I'm going to do. Now let's flip it over to the West. We have Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies. I think this could nearly be a sweep. But I think the Grizzlies can win Game 3 and turn it into just a gentleman's sweep. I got OKC in 5. They've been the best team all year. I think they could handle the Grizzlies. They might hiccup for a game, but I fully expect OKC to take care of business in 5 games. All right. Then we have the Golden State Warriors versus the Houston Rockets. Guys, I don't get Houston. I don't. They're a 2 seed. I don't know how they did it. Maybe I'll regret these words, and I haven't watched them enough this year. I don't believe in them. And the Warriors, despite being a 7 seed, they have a ton of experience. They got Jimmy Butler. They got Steph Curry. That's got to be good enough for a round, right? I'm going to take Warriors in 6. I think that them being the team on the road, they get Game 6 in their building. I think that's where they'll close it out. It'll be a good series, though. I do think that this series is really interesting because it is a 2 versus a 7. But I think you got to throw the numbers out and look at the matchups. I got to think Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler are good for a round. You know what I mean? Next up, we have the Lakers versus the Timberwolves. And I'll take the Lakers in 6. Yeah, they'll have to close it out on the road in Minnesota, I think. They would love to finish it off in 5. But I do think Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, they could be a little bit of a problem for the Lakers. The Lakers, of course, on defense might have their struggles. But at the end of the day, we're talking about LeBron and Luka here. Austin Reeves is coming on really well. I like the Lakers a lot. None of their series are going to be easy, by the way. But I really like the Lakers in general. It's going to be hard to beat them 4 times in 7 games. That's what I'm saying. That duo, or trio if you want to count Reeves, with J.J. Redick, who's been awesome at head coach, they're going to be hard to take down. Minnesota's going to put up a fight. One thing about the T-Wolves I learned last year is they can match up with their opponent. They can give you a fight, and they will give the Lakers a fight. That'll be a very fun series. But this last series, I think, is the most fun series of the entire first round. We're talking Clippers, Nuggets, and I'm taking the Nuggets in 7. If the home court was flipped, I'd probably flip to the Clippers. But man, oh man, this series is going to be so fucking good. We know the Clippers have an aging team. We know the Clippers have Kawhi, who could get hurt at any moment. We know James Harden chokes in the playoffs. But they have a well-assembled, put-together roster. They're flying under the radar. They can make a run. The Nuggets are a little vulnerable. They just fired their head coach. But at the end of the day, the Nuggets do have the best player in the world. And my theme so far in the first round is the best players win the biggest games when it matters most. And that's why I take Jokic and the Nuggets in 7 over the Clippers. You look at my whole first round. Look at the best players on these teams that are advancing. This won't always be the case in the semifinals and going forward. But in this first round, you know, if you look at it, well, Donovan Mitchell's the best player in the series for the Cavs in that series. They advance. Jason Tatum for the Celtics. They advance. Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. They advance. Giannis for the Bucks. They advance. Right? Over in the West, Jokic advances. Luka advances. Steph Curry advances. And SGA, who I think should win the NBA MVP, advances. Quickly touching on the SGA MVP talk. They won like 68 games. Okay. He's averaging over 30 points a game. He's one of the best defensive players in basketball. There should be no question about it. He should win MVP. Okay, give it to him. Let's go to the second round. Kicking it back over to the East. We got the Cleveland Cavs versus the Milwaukee Bucks. The Cavs are just too much. Too much for the Bucks here. Damian Lillard might be back. So for that reason, I'll give an extra game. But I will take the Cavs in 6. And then you have the Celtics versus the Knicks. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. The Knicks are barely going to get through the Pistons, maybe. And then they're going to be banged up going in this series. The Celtics going to be nice and rested, coming off a sweep. And in fact, give it another sweep, because the Celtics are going to sweep the Knicks too. They're going to sweep the Knicks too. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say it's 4-4 for the Celtics. But these first 2 rounds, you know, maybe we got to take care of them in 5. But I'm thinking, sweep, get out your motherfucking brooms. And then over in the West, we got a couple really good series, man. Really good series. How about the Thunder versus the Nuggets? I think the Thunder take care of the Nuggets in 6. You have that direct battle. SGA versus Jokic. I do think that first round is going to take a lot out of the Nuggets, though, to get past. And it will hurt them in the second round versus the OKC. So I have no problem OKC taking care of it on the road in a closeout game versus the Nuggets. If the Nuggets can somehow beat OKC, maybe it's their year. But man, I just find it hard to believe in the same year you fire your head coach right before the playoffs that you could make a run like that. Against a team like that. OKC that literally has blown teams out, has put on an amazing season with a complete and total completed roster with the MVP and the way they play hard defense and the way that they shoot. I can't not foresee OKC losing to the Nuggets. But I do think the Nuggets can get a couple games off of them. Then we have probably the most entertaining second round matchup. Lakers, Warriors, a rivalry renewed. LeBron versus Steph. Luka versus Jimmy Butler. This is going to be fun. Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. Saying it for the people in the back. Lakers in 6. They're going to find a way to frustrate Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. They have the size, in the guard play at least. They have the size. Neither team is going to play defense that great. Expect a high-scoring series, a fun series. But Golden State can give up the ghost, lose in their own building in Game 6, and watch the Lakers advance to the Western Conference Finals. And now, we get to the Eastern Conference Finals. We have the Cleveland Cavs versus the Boston Celtics. And you know what, guys? Cleveland earned that home court advantage. They did. But they will not get to that Game 7. Because Celtics in 6, bitch. I don't care if the Cavs had the better record all year long. Celtics in 6, bitch. The champs are here. We can play them and we can beat them. Take your 1 seed and shove it up your ass. Celtics are back in the NBA Finals. Back to the NBA Finals for the 3rd time in 4 years, going for back-to-back NBA championships. The dynasty is in Boston, and it's happening before our eyes. Over in the West, Lakers, Thunder. This series is going to be scratch and claw. This series is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to take every ounce of experience LeBron has. It's going to take every ounce of talent that Luka has. But the Lakers are going to find a way to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games in their building on a last-second shot maybe from Luka himself. Luka has cooked the Thunder before. He beat them last year in the playoffs. He's going to beat them this year in the playoffs. Luka and LeBron are going back to an NBA Finals. Has Lakers. The Thunder gained a ton of experience this year, last year's playoffs. This upcoming playoffs, they'll gain a ton of experience. They're going to be good in the future. They're all going to be contenders for the next 5 years for sure. But not this year. LeBron, close to retirement, wants another crack at the NBA championship, and he's going to his 11th NBA Finals. Only Bill Russell has more appearances in the NBA Finals. He had 12. Now he won 11 of them. And LeBron has only won 4 of his 10. But he's going back. And Luka's going back to try to get revenge against the Celtics from last year. But how will that go? We have the NBA Finals now. The stage is set. The Boston Celtics versus the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe they still do 2-3-2 format. I believe the NBA Finals is still 2-3-2. So 2 home games for the Celtics, 3 home games for the Lakers, 2 home games for the Celtics. I think it's 2-3-2. And I'm saying Celtics in 6. Celtics in 6. So maybe the Lakers steal a game. Maybe game 2, right? But you know the Celtics are stealing right back. Maybe getting 2 of the 3. I don't know. Could go 7. I'm going to say 6. I'm going to say Celtics don't want this to go to a game 7. And this time, it will be Jason Tatum who wins NBA Finals MVP. Last year, it was Jaylen Brown. Well-deserved. And he was the Eastern Conference MVP as well. This year, Tatum gets his. And the Celtics will be back-to-back NBA champions. Book it. Book it. Anyway, guys, those are my predictions for the NBA playoffs. Thank you all for watching the video. Much appreciated. I will see you all later.